Walk into a typical modern home, and your brain immediately begins working overtime. Every discarded piece of mail, every tangled cord, and every piece of poorly constructed fast furniture competes for your attention. This constant visual noise continuously triggers minor spikes in cortisol, keeping your nervous system in a state of low-grade alert. The common reaction to this clutter is to strip everything away, embracing a stark, ultra-modern minimalism. But living in a space composed entirely of glass, chrome, and sharp right angles often results in a cold, sterile environment. It removes the stress of the mess, but it also removes basic human comfort. There is an alternative approach to interior design that solves this problem, and it dates back a century and a half. It is known as Japandi, a specific architectural and design framework that merges Eastern discipline with Western coziness. When Japan's borders opened to the world in the 1850s, Danish designers traveled east. They discovered a culture that shared their deep reverence for organic materials, precise craftsmanship, and a deep connection to the natural world. The cross-pollination of these two distinct cultures created a specific set of rules for arranging a room. By applying these rules, you can engineer a living space that actively lowers your heart rate the moment you walk through the front door. The Japanese half of this equation relies heavily on the concept of Wabi-Sabi. Wabi-Sabi is the philosophical view that beauty is found in imperfection and the natural cycle of growth and decay. In a physical room, this philosophy dictates the materials you choose. You see it in the use of raw, authentic textures, like an asymmetrical, hand-thrown ceramic bowl. You also see it in Shou Sugi. Shou Sugi is a traditional Japanese method of preserving wood by charring its surface with fire, leaving a dark, deeply textured finish. This diagram shows a standard living room floor plan. By pulling the furniture apart, we apply modesty, treating negative space as an active design element. Assigning value to these gaps gives your eyes a place to rest, reducing your cognitive load. Traditional Japanese architecture uses this exact approach to manipulate spatial boundaries and light. These shoji screens filter the outside world, turning harsh daylight into a soft, ambient glow without overwhelming the senses. These Japanese principles establish strict mental clarity and a zen atmosphere. However, to keep the home from feeling like an uninviting museum, that discipline requires a physical counterweight. This is where the Nordic influence arrives, bringing two specific cultural concepts. The first is the Danish practice of Hygge, which focuses on generating warmth and comfort. The second is the Swedish principle of Lagom. Lagom translates roughly to just the right amount, acting as a natural moderator to keep a room from feeling overly sparse. In this mid-century Scandinavian exhibition, the rigid lines of strict minimalism are broken by the gentle curves and low profiles of the chairs. The design forces the aesthetic to serve the physical comfort of the human body. Merging these styles creates a highly specific material and color palette. Swedish pale ash and light oak meet dark walnut favored in Japan. These woods sit against warm whites, natural stone, and muted sage green. Lighting is used to tie these materials together. These traditional Japanese paper lanterns are known as chochin. They use washi paper to diffuse the internal light source, softening harsh shadows and signaling the nervous system to relax. Layering in Scandinavian plush textiles and warm, diffused lighting takes the disciplined geometry of Eastern design and turns it into a tactile, livable sanctuary. Because Japandi relies heavily on uncluttered surfaces, traditional, mass-produced decorative items are explicitly removed. In their place, the design framework uses living architecture to finish a room. This practice is known as Biophilic minimalism. Biophilic design is the architectural strategy of integrating natural, living elements into the built indoor environment. Here, specific plants are chosen for their sculptural qualities to intentionally offset the rigid, straight lines of the furniture. Different species serve distinct structural roles. The slender, weeping branches of a Ficus benjamina create a graceful arch to soften a corner. Alternatively, an olive tree provides architectural height without adding heavy visual density to the space. Beyond their physical shape, these specific plants perform hidden physiological functions. Their subtle motion brings movement into a static room, and they act as natural air purifiers. By increasing oxygen and filtering toxins, they actively reduce human cortisol levels. Replacing a static ceramic vase with a living organism requires your attention. It forces a routine of watering and pruning that pulls you away from your screens and anchors you firmly in the present moment. Constructing this environment is only the first step. Maintaining it requires a specific psychological practice. In Japan, this is called Danshari. Danshari is the philosophy of detaching yourself from material possessions, discarding what you no longer need. By purging items that do not serve a strict functional purpose or hold a deep aesthetic value, you liberate yourself from the emotional weight of holding on to excess objects. This ethos stands in direct opposition to the modern cycle of disposable fast furniture. Instead of buying cheap items that end up in landfills, the Japandi framework demands sustainable, natural materials that are crafted to age beautifully over generations. When executed correctly, the home becomes a balanced ecosystem. Natural light plays across organic textures, and the intentional empty space exists in total harmony with the objects around it. Ultimately, Japandi is an active psychological framework. By carefully curating your physical environment, you build a functional, daily defense mechanism against the speed and chaos of the modern world.